Hello and welcome to another episode of The Extra Pass. I am a substitute host this week. My name is Tom Van der Vusse, subbing in for your regular host, Ben Hopkins, who is late out with illness. But we are joined with the regular Mr. Adam Bellinger. Balls, how are you?
Good. Tommy V, great to be here. And Benny always does these without me. And on purpose, kind of. So it's good to do one without him. See how it feels.
You could say I'm a better teammate already.
Yeah, we'll see how it feels to be left off.
Exactly right. Here we go. And we've got a very special guest in today, the voice of Melbourne, someone that's been around the club for a very long time. Wayne Peterson, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. I only just made it myself, really, because Benny, if he's got the gastro bug going around, I had it like 3 or 4 days ago. Wife was in bed all day yesterday, so it's been through our family. It's the real deal. So hopefully no one picks that up.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've shook it off.
This now.
No, I've shook it off.
Need the hand sanitizer.
Back on track, and but it did take me down about 3 or 4 days ago. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, at least you've recovered in time for our big night on Thursday night.
Wow, it's been a good off season, and we're ready to get back into it on Thursday night.
Yeah, 2.5 years in between games does seem like a long time, but geez, we're excited to get back to John Cain Arena on Thursday night, and we finally know who our opponent is in the Hawks. So it's shaping up to be a good series.
It was a great game last night. I was sitting on the couch and just watching those two beat the living daylights out of each other, and just hoping that they'd beat each other a little bit more. But to see the Hawks get over the line was sensational. They're playing well. They're coached well. Dave O'Hickey's in the lineup, doing great things. Their energy's fantastic. Other teams should look at that, look at their energy on the sideline, look at their team standing up and take something from that and just use it.
I was secretly hoping for overtime. I really wanted them to go as long as possible, and it was almost there with PJC's final shot just rattling out. But it's shaping up to be a big playoff series, and one that I'm sure Melbourne United fans are really excited.
Sorry, Tommy, what did we make of the PJC and the Derek Rucker thing that sort of bubbled around the surface?
I really wanted Derek Rucker last night after the game to stand up and go 7.
How many did he have? Sorry, I missed the game. Embarrassingly, how many did he end up with in the second game?
PJC?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But the
minimum
the backstory was that
as well.
Ruck put him 7th.
Yeah, put him 7th. I saw that, like, going at him, and it was funny because no one kind of knew who he was yelling at or what he was doing. Everybody was kind of looking around like, what's going on? And then he got shoved by another coach, and but he is fun to watch. He's with his size.
Great to watch. 2
guys in the league that are really small in stature, but just amazing to watch out there on the court. You got to give him his respect. But 7's not bad. Well, he's that mad about 7. 7's pretty good.
7's good. Yeah, he's great to watch. He's probably the fastest point guard I've ever seen in the league, I reckon. Ever. Like, his speed off the mark is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But when he went to the bench, it was so funny because they had a wide shot of the commentators, and Jack Everett and Derek, they actually stopped talking for about 10 seconds.
I don't think anyone knew
say something, and Jack's like,
I am stunned. Yeah.
Was that at me or was that at you?
Yeah. Who do you think I am?
I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, well, looking forward to this series against the Hawks. Obviously, we've got a few recent games to reference, but they are the last team that we played in the regular season as well. Multiple weapons across the floor, playing with a lot of speed, playing with a lot of heart. What are your insights looking into this 3-game series that we've got coming up?
Yeah, they do have, like, Harvey's just sitting there just waiting to let loose, and then they've got the other guys around the perimeter. They've got guys coming off the bench that can knock it down. They're a little bit scary, but if we do what we do, we'll be okay. And that's what we've got to do. And now it comes down to a 3-game series. We will be okay. Just do what we need to do. Do our things right. Worry about ourselves. We'll be okay.
And it's one of the advantages of ending up first place on the ladder is that you get the home floor across the entire final series. And if we can just protect the home floor with your assistance.
Yes, absolutely. I put something out today about the stated advantage. Sometimes not so advantageous when you're playing midweek. Can hurt you a little bit, but our crowds have been 95, 96% full. We've had multiple sellouts, so they'll come. I just spoke to head of ticketing, Fiona. She's all over it. She said we'll be well and truly above the 8,000, pushing 9 or 10,000, so we'll be fine. It'll be a stand up until they score. It's going to be a ripper.
Talk to me a little bit, like, you've been doing this a long time, and the crowds this year, as you say, have been absolutely phenomenal, averaging almost 96% capacity for the entire season. Can you talk to me about the improvement in the energy that you've seen from our fans, particularly over the last 10 years as Melbourne United, because we came from a pretty low base there for a little while, and it's just been going from strength to strength ever since, particularly in this season.
Yeah, and I've noticed a bit of a switch with the demographic as well. There's the older crew, but there's the families that are coming as family groups, and the noise that kids make is unbelievable. You know, let alone the tyre power hand clappers, but outside of that, the screaming and the energy that they bring, and they know what we want. We've educated them enough now to know what we do and how we do it, so they know when to come in, they know when to sit back, they know when to make noise. We play a song, and you know, I used to have to say defense like 4 or 5 times. Now there's times when they hit that track and I don't even speak. The crowd just know what to do, and that I sit back then and go, that's fantastic. That's our home court.
What about you, Balls? You've played in some pretty large and electric arenas. How you often spotted in one of the back rows of John Cain Arena.
Yeah, well,
enjoying yourself and just taking it all in.
That's been a real bummer of the season for me personally. Is all these sellouts. I usually go up in the second half and sit all the way at the top. Tommy spotted me once and he was taking a picture of me and put it out.
Zoomed right in and just see Balls.
I saw him on his phone. I was like, he can't be looking at me right now. There's no way. I used to sit all the way at the top because there's always rows open up there. This year, I think I've done that one game. Other than that, there's not a seat open in the whole place, which is impressive, a testament to the team and the office and you, Rattler. Yeah, it's cool. And like you said about the demographic, like there is a lot of families, a lot of kids there. And I think all the grassroots stuff we've done and everything is like, a lot of it is you just got to get people there once. Get them there once so they can see what the game is and what it brings and the entertainment that from start to finish. You know, it's 2 hours. It's not a whole, you're not going to, it's not a cricket. It's not like a 5-day slog. It's 2 hours in and out. Kids are engaged the whole time. And yeah, it's been a special year.
And you're usually spotted with a portion of chicken fingers and some chips.
Yeah, well, after my duties are done after the halftime game,
it's hungry, man.
I don't have to start again until after the game. I mean, hey, we're burning calories in those
Absolutely.
games.
Don't get me wrong. 25,000 steps minimum. No.
It's hard work. I need sustenance.
I just know our fans can identify with the chicken fingers at John Cain Arena because I know they're a favourite.
Same time every time.
So, Rad, your opinion on this current makeup of United, the team that we've got on the floor this season, obviously a very talented roster, but been in the game for over 30 years now, and you've seen a lot of Melbourne teams, whether that be Tigers or United. How does this team compare to teams you've seen in the past?
I've seen many talented teams come and go very quickly, and I think I quote Lindsay a fair bit. A champion team will always beat a team of champions. And you know, people at the start of the season, oh, mate, we've got this player, we're going to do this. I'm like, I don't care who we've got until I see how they play together on the floor.
Yeah.
I see how that guy gets dragged off and sit on the bench, and I see how he handles that, and the next guy steps up. Until I see that, I'm not making any comment. But what I've seen this year about this team is they're all in for each other. They're all in for each other. Guy comes off, he's like, okay, I'm out, but you get on there and you do your thing, and they're slapping each other on the back. Yeah, this team looks like a really team of close-knit mates, which is, it's hard to get sometimes because you're pulling guys from other sides of the world who don't even know the guy that he's going to stand next to.
Sure.
Don't even know. He's got to meet him, and then he's got to hang out with him, and then he's got to like him, and he's got to get along with him. That doesn't happen overnight, so... But I think we've pulled together a quality team.
Yeah,
we've still got to get it done on the court.
True.
But our team is really close and good.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you can't hide the body language, and it tells a lot. And you're right, when you're on the court, and if you're lucky enough to be sitting close to the players, you can't see it from way up top, but you've been on the court for so long, 30 years of being up close and personal and seeing all those little things of, yeah, exactly. How does a player react once they've come out?
100%.
You know, even if they're playing well, or if they're playing bad, or if the coach tells them something, you're right. And I mean, that is as far as this team. None of the stats, nothing. Just looking at that is, yeah, it's one of the reasons we've been selling out. It's one of the reasons it's so excited going into these playoffs.
There's a sense of calm, isn't there, in this particular roster, a sense of professionalism and maturity where even if things aren't going to plan, they can pull each other in and reload. There's a few games where we've been down by a margin at halftime, and they come out and they go whack in the third term and away we go. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Got some solid heads out there, and I'm looking at one right behind your head with Dally and Chris and just some vets that know that the shots aren't always going to go down. The calls aren't always going to go your way, but we're going to find a way to get over that and get through it, and that's what this team's about, I think.
Absolutely. And so I'm curious to dive a bit deeper into your history a little bit. Given that we celebrated your 30th anniversary as part of the club a couple of years ago, and you've obviously been around for a very long time as a result. Tell us about your career up until this point. Let's start with how you got into it. How did you get?
That's weird. Yeah, it's funny. It goes all the way back. I went to school with a guy that could play a little bit of basketball called Andrew Gaze, and at school basketball wasn't really a thing. Like I was cricket, I was footy. And then I started dating a girl that was involved in a domestic comp that played at Albert Park. And so you follow your girl to wherever she goes.
What age? Young?
No, like 16, 17.
Oh, okay.
So I'd been to school with Andrew. He was a year lower, but his sister Janet I was in class with. So we'd been sort of close but not close. And then I'd started hanging around Albert Park, and then I'd see Andrew, and then we just grew closer. And then they had this Wednesday night competition they called the Victorian Championships. I don't know. You probably wouldn't.
No,
have been.
I've heard about this since when I got out here. Even like Gazy's book, like I read his book, and that was a big deal. The Wednesday night comp was like you had to play in it. And they loved it too.
There was 3 massive games. So the Tigers would play the St Kilda Saints, the Nunawading Spectres, and the Coburg Giants, and they'd go hard. And Albert Park, 800 people would be packed, and it'd be screaming, and it'd be loud. And they had an announcer sit up in this little booth, and that was Bruce Palmer. Who then became one of the greatest coaches. He came out to play, one of the greatest coaches. He sat up in the box. Bruce sometimes got a little bit loose on a Wednesday night, and there is a history, and there is a myth going around that at times you could hear cans rolling out of the box and dropping down the stairs. And so Bruce being Bruce, one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet, some of the things he would say on the mic about players on what they did was funny, but probably couldn't deliver it right now these days. Yeah. But so Bruce did it for a number of years, and then he decided I'm not going to do it anymore. So Lindsay said, "Wayne, would you like to have a try?" I said, "How much is it, Linz?" Lynn said, "It's $7 a game." I said, "I get $7.50 for reffing." Yeah. So I took the job, and I did that for many, many years, and absolutely loved it. It came time, and then I was involved with the NBL team at that time because they played some games at Albert Park back in the day. So I was on the score bench. I just did whatever they needed me to do. And Nigel Purchase, who was a player, his father was the announcer and had been the announcer for many years. And he decided he was going to call it quits when we were going to move from the glass house across to Rod Laver when it was really taken off. So I thought, I'm a chance here. I've been doing this Wednesday night stuff for a little while. I'm a chance to get the job. So I went to the GM, and he said, "No, Wayne, we don't think you're ready. We're actually going to look for a radio guy. A guy's been in radio, has got a good radio voice." I said, "Okay, no problem." So they searched a little bit, and they found someone that they knew had a boyfriend who worked in radio. His name was Steve, and he's a great guy. I still know him. So they said, Steve's gonna do this. I said, "You're gonna just put him in. He's never done basketball. You're just gonna put him in at Rod Laver." I said, "Yeah." I said, "How about you send him down to me on a Wednesday night? I'll give him like a half of one of the games in the box. I'll sit up there with him, and you guys can sit in the crowd. Just decide whether he's ready." That's a good idea, Wayne. That's a really good idea. So they sent him down, and it was the Tigers playing someone, and Lennard had just got to town as well. So, and I was a bit worried when Steve said, "What's that big line around the top of the keyway for?"
Far out.
Oh, no. Okay. That's the 3-point line. Inside, I'm sort of thinking, yeah. This might go the other way.
Comes my job. Yeah.
So I sat him down, and the first tip of the game, I can't remember who the centre was. It wasn't Bradke, wasn't there yet. But he tipped it to Copes. Copes got a breakaway dunk. And Steve opened up with 2 points, Leonard Copeland. Didn't even call him Lennard, right? Went with Copes ran up the court and looked up in the box thinking, "Rattler, what are you doing, man?" And I just went, and I just pointed at Steve. And he's like, so after the game, they said, "We don't think he's ready." I said, "He's definitely not ready." They said, "What we'll do is we'll leave Gary ready to go, but we'll give you the first quarter of the game over at Rod Laver." I said, "No." I said, "Just give me the first game. give me the first game. Let's do the first game, and then sit me down and tell me whether I'm ready or not. And that's it. That's where it started.
That's good. That's a good story.
It is a good
story.
story.
Awesome. Yeah. You should write your own book.
I can't write. Get one of my
It's an audio book.
I can do the audio.
There's a defense chant at the end of every chapter.
Wayne Peterson said. So yeah, it's it goes all the way back to then, and
What year was that?
91-ish,
Yep.
91, I think.
Yeah, right.
So and from there, it has been the greatest thing that it's ever happened to me in my life. It's taken me to places that I never thought I'd get to. The Sydney Olympics gold medal game, got selected to do that. Stayed in not the village, but on the Olympic side in the Novotel. Did games every second day for the men's and women's team, and then Lorraine Landon sat me down and said, "Wayne, we'd like you to do the gold medal game," and it was sensational. It was so I've done world championships, junior world championships. The USA tour came out here. Got a good story about that if you want to.
Please.
So the
Nothing's off limits on the extra parts.
So the USA team come out, and when USA basketball travel, they do what they want to do. Wherever they go in the world, they run the event. So USA basketball run the whole event. They decided that they'd have me as the announcer because I was the announcer here in Melbourne, which
tour was this?
Oh, mate, this would be...
Because they've come out a
prior
few
to
times.
2000.
Okay.
Prior to 2000, so leading up to the 2000 Olympics, so they were here.
And we're talking which sort of players in that US team?
Jason Kidd.
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter, yeah. Jumped over the guy.
Yeah,
at
jumped
the
over the
Olympics.
French guy.
Oh, yeah. That's an all-time.
Yeah, so some guns. So they're running the game. We get to the game and it's full on. I'm sitting here, and there's USA basketball here, and there's a guy here telling me exactly what I can say, when I can say it, and it's all on. And the incident happened with Andrew on the ground. Was it Vince Carter? I think that stepped over the top of him.
Yeah,
and then Shane come in.
Yeah, with Charles. No. Charles Barkley.
No, that was before that. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Vince stood over the top of Andrew, and Andrew was on the ground. Then he got up, and then there was and the crowd started giving it to him. And before the game, we'd had the pre-game meeting, and they'd said, okay, after the game, our captain Jason Kidd's going to do just a thank you to the crowd, and Andrew will do a thank you to the crowd as we head to the Olympics. Possibly Andrew's last game you'll ever see him play here for the Boomers and stuff. So yeah, okay. So that happens, and I can't remember what quarter, maybe third quarter or something. The guy from USA Basketball just whispers in my ear and says, "We're pulling the interviews at the end of the game. We don't think your crowd are going to respect Jason, so we're not going to do them at the end of the game." So I turned my mic off and I said, but Andrew's still going to talk, right? And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm out." I said, "I'm out."
You mic dropped him?
Yeah, I said, "I'm out. I'm not doing the rest of the game. This is our home Olympics.
Yeah, you can't tell us.
This is our home ground.
Yeah.
This guy could be his last Olympics.
Yeah.
He's going to talk. I don't care if your guy doesn't talk. Our guy's going to talk." And they're like, "Calm down." I said, "No, I'm out, mate. I don't need this. I'm done."
Yeah.
No. And a couple of play phases went on. Nothing was said. Like, no. Okay. We'll sort it out. They come back and said, "Okay, well, Andrew's going to talk. Our guy's not going to talk." I said, "That's fine. That's okay." The crowd, I don't think our crowd will do anything bad to him at the end of the game. I don't think we're like that. But if you think that's going to happen, that's fine. Our guy's going to talk. Yep, okay. And so Andrew spoke at the end of the game.
Nice.
How good. Just defending the team from off court.
Oh, you can't just let that happen to our legend right there. And he's been involved in many things, mate. Yeah. Many incidents. He'd just stand up there and talk. He was never going to incite the crowd or do anything. You can't let that happen. This is our house, and this is how it's going to be. It's our Olympics, our country. You might have that point of view, but no, this is going to happen.
Beautiful story. I'm glad we went into that. Seriously, this is great. Question
I've told that many times.
I haven't heard that before, and that's good. Question I've always wanted to ask you though is I've known you for over 8 years now, and I've always affectionately known you as Rattler.
Oh, it's not. It doesn't have a very good thing. It's ordinary. The reason for the nickname?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nothing, mate. It's very crazy. So, back when I was young and played footy, I had asthma really bad. And so I'd breathe. If I didn't take my puffer, I'd breathe really heavy. So there'd be times I'd be running someone down and I'd be like, and they say I was like a rattlesnake.
That's a great.
It came from there.
Perfect.
Like it's nothing really.
That's how you get nicknames,
It's
especially when you're a kid or
Absolutely,
boys and they
yeah.
don't have any. They're not going to care if they're going to hurt your feelings. You sound like a rattlesnake when you breathe, and so you're a rattler for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It wasn't about appendage or anything like that. It's just it's just about the chest.
I always thought it was attributed to your ability as a courtside announcer and just really rattling some of the cages of the opposition.
No, come way before that. I think it was primary school, mate. I've had it for a long time. I'm still known. If I go around Port Melbourne where I grew up, if there's any locals, they know me as that. And a lot of people don't even know my first name down there.
That's hilarious. And but you have rattled some cages of opposition.
Oh, dear me. Yes, I have.
And it helps. Like sometimes you really get under the skin of some of the
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
A lot.
Yeah.
I spoke to a good friend of mine via text who we used to have some of the greatest battles in the history of modern man, and only because I was very close with referees Billy Mildenhall, Ray Hunt, Eddie Crouch, because we played in the Thursday night competition together at Albert Park. So, and they gave it to the rest more than anybody else. But Billy one time had to separate myself and Brian Gorgon from actually having a physical encounter. Gorge was across the bench about to give me one. And we had some of the greatest battles. And when Gorge first came out here to play with the Melbourne Tigers, I took him down to Port Melbourne Baseball Club because I knew he'd like baseball. He became Port Melbourne Baseball Club's #1 pitcher and first baseman. And he would still, if you ever speak to Gorge around anything, just ask him about the Port Melbourne Baseball Club and he'll tell you some great stories. He still speaks highly. So we played baseball together. We're close. But as soon as the game was on, the game was on. And Gorge is a competitor just as much as myself. I texted him yesterday and just said, all I text was, welcome back. And he came back with just going to finalise, go get that win because it might be your last. He said, "I can't wait to relive the battles out on the floor." So
that's awesome.
And I always I worry about that a little bit because I'm crazy. Like I sometimes get so hot headed that I feel like I'm losing my mind. But as soon as the game ends, I've played a lot of footy and I've played a lot of sport. Once that final siren goes, I'm okay. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to give the guy a hug, and most 99% of players have been okay with that. There are still some that are not quite okay with it, but is what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. I always get worried as a staff member of Melbourne United when I see you at full volume, but the mic's down by your side. He's yelling at someone. There's something going on.
It took me off the bench, and I'm not sure if it helped or hindered. I think it actually helped. I think it helped moving me off the bench because I was too close to everything that was happening with both coaches and teams and stuff. So
even the referees, you can tell what.
Yeah, because they were coming to be.
Yeah.
I was too.
Tend to roam now, don't you?
I roam. I can't get quite close over in the far corner, but I do have a Melbourne United staff member who's also my daughter, I feel, grabbing the back of my shirt at times.
Get back guy. Yeah, the NFL coaches have a get back guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got the get back daughter. Who,
you don't get as close as the Simmons blimp to some people, though. My God,
mate, that guy's good, isn't he?
He pushes the limits. That's fun. What about you, Balls? You would have experienced Rattlers' energy on the
both
game.
Sides.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, with the Tigers for a couple of years.
Anything memorable?
Not, as a player, like unless I think you're speaking specifically on the court, it's all like you can hear the noise, but it just kind of, you don't hear certain things. Like you don't hear one fan screaming unless it's completely quiet and they're yelling your name. Usually it's just the energy of it. So you can hear Rattler and you can hear the crowd, but I don't ever remember specific words being said. It's just like,
no, we never. You were very much the workman and never.
Yeah. But I mean, I wasn't trying to incite you or anything like that. No. But I mean, I think, some players maybe you're listening for that. I never was, but it was like if you could feel if it's an away game and Melbourne Tigers were the home crowd, you could feel that coming on top of you, like the noise from the crowd and Rattler riling everybody up, and it affects you. It affects you as an away team for sure.
What would you call upon from our fans going into the finals that are upcoming to weigh on the opposition? How would you, if you could say one message to them right now through the Extra Pass podcast microphones. What would you?
It's just energy, and just know when to bring that energy. You can read the play. You can see what's happening out there. Just know if the opposition team are starting to get on top of us a little bit here, just bring a little bit more energy. We play a song, just give us something. Don't make me say, come on now, just give it to us. If I hear you coming with it, I won't even speak. I'll just let you bring it yourself. Just bring the energy, and the players will feel it 100%.
Particularly after this layoff, right?
100%, yeah. We need to build from the start. We need to get this going early. So that Harcourt's holler at the start needs to be full on. Get up out of your seats early, get those feet stomping, get those tyre power hand clappers clapping, and let's get it going early.
I love it. There you go, Melbourne United fans. You've heard it here. Well, we'll jump into a quick break and then we'll come back with everyone's favourite segment, which is the Fast Five.
I'm nervous.
That's the only segment.
I'm nervous.
Everyone can't. It's the only thing they can. It's the only thing that can be their favorite.
So they got to
wait.
the
only segment. We only got one segment.
They got to wade through all that other stuff.
Yeah. Fast forward. Well, they make it easy.
For this.
They make it easy on the phone. You just hit the fast
I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Brace yourself.
Want to stay up to date with everything happening in Melbourne United? Download the Melbourne United app today. Filled with videos, audio and articles about your favourite team. It's the one-stop shop for everything Melbourne United. Download the Melbourne United app via the App Store on iOS or the Google Play Store on Android.
Welcome back. Balls, take it away.
You ready? This is Fast Five with Balls. Been waiting for this the whole time. Now we're on to the fun stuff. Yeah, they're hard hitting, so I hope you're ready.
Okay.
He's making me nervous.
Right,
Look how serious he is.
Yeah, this did not take me long to do. It could have come up with 10 easy. But, okay, Rattler, you've been around forever since I've been out here. See your face everywhere, every time in Melbourne. Icon of the game. Some of these are so these are hard to answer because it's like you didn't get a chance. Like you didn't get a chance to think of these before. It's always it can be tough. But if I just want to know, the court announcing side of it is pretty fascinating. I think a lot of people, the number one fear in people is public speaking, right? It's like people are more scared of public speaking than I don't know, getting hit by a truck or something like that.
That's true.
That's true.
A lot of people say it's one of their greatest fears.
Yeah. So for you to be able to do it and just in front of so many people and so natural at it, got a few questions. All right, if you could MC court announce for any other team outside of United, any sport, let's go any sport or any team, basketball, even, I don't know. Could do that. Does footy have a court? Maybe you could bring that in.
I already do footy ads, but that's okay.
On the court, because I see
on the court they don't have footy.
That's what I'm saying. Get out there, get an orange suit on so they know not to run into you. And you're just
that could be big.
Kind of like and one tour, but you're on the court.
I got you. Yeah.
In the ear. Is there any? You got a team, maybe a couple that you would love to do it for, like an NBA or like an NFL?
Yeah, 100%. I spent a little bit of time, and so lucky that I once again was good friends with Andrew.
He probably opened some doors.
Well, they were coming into the 99 Championship Series. And
Spurs?
Yeah. And playing the New York Knicks, and Melinda, Andrew's wife, was coming home. She'd already booked a ticket to come home. Andrew sent me a message and said, do you want to come to the Game 5 of the NBA Championship Series?
I think about
the Knicks are my
maybe.
team, so
I
was
said,
watching that closely.
I'm on the plane.
I'm swimming over.
So I jumped on the plane, met this lovely couple on the plane who actually drove me to Andrew's hotel. What? Met this guy on the plane, said, my girlfriend picked me up, and drove me to Andrew's hotel, stayed in the hotel with him, went out for the pregame. NBA is a lot different. They do everything as one, and then they come together to play. They don't eat together. So Andrew said, let's go. We'll go to this, I've got this little Italian restaurant down this laneway in New York. Let's go and we'll have something to eat there. We walk into the restaurant, and Dave Robinson's sitting in the corner, and all I can remember seeing is his arms crossed with his guns. Yeah. He always had the short sleeve.
Oh man, he was built like no other.
So he waves. He's like, Andrew, and Andrew's like, Dave, how you going? He goes, come over. So we go over. I sit and have pre-game meal with Dave Robinson, and Andrew goes leading to Game 5 of an NBA Championship Series. Go back to Madison Square Garden. Tom, who was the media guy, gave me 2 tickets and said, if you know anyone, here's 2 tickets. The game was sold out. I went outside, and they had all these big announcements: if you are caught scalping, you will go to jail. Put the tickets back in my pocket. Went back inside. They win the championship. Will Purdue sees me in the crowd, lifts me over the barricade. I'm in the locker room. It goes on for about 3 weeks after that. So to answer, it actually does. You know, we're going down the River Walk as a parade. I'm with Will Purdue, Jerome Kersey, and Andrew Gaze. I'm waving like I've won the championship. Greatest time of my life ever. So the answer to your question is, if I could announce a San Antonio Spurs game, it would be the greatest thing ever.
Spurs game. Yeah, that's cool.
Pretty special.
Yeah,
Would be
Purdue.
unbelievable.
Although I could see you doing
Purdue, one of the greatest guys you ever want
largest,
to be.
biggest feet in NBA history, I think. So it's
really?
like 22 or 23 foot. Yeah.
That's 2 of my feet.
Yeah, yeah, that's big. I mean, he's a big guy, but that was Mike. Will Purdue went to a Ivy League school, I think, and everything. But yeah, that's what I always remember about him.
Great guy, absolute superstar.
I could see you doing like a pro wrestling or a boxing, like a Buffer-esque kind of.
Oh yeah,
I do a little local boxing
Get Ready to
charity
Rumble.
thing. That's there's a guy, Jack's PT in boxing in Cheltenham, and he runs a charity boxing night, and I do the ring announcer, and
That's
I
cool.
love it.
That's
It's
cool.
fantastic.
Does the mic come down from the roof?
No, that's the coolest mic. I'm trying to get the mic down from the roof, but no, I love it. It's actually really good.
Fantastic.
All right, moving on. Okay, you used to play a little, right?
A little A grade, Albert Park on a Monday night.
Humble brag. A grade.
Hang on. Only because Andrew played. So what would happen is Lindsay ran the Monday night comp, right? So back when the basketball was semi-professional, they'd train at like something, I think it was like 4 o'clock till 5:50, and the first game started at 5:50 on a Monday night. Lindsay ran all the schedules. So our game was 5:50 every Monday night.
Yeah.
Andrew would train for 2 hours and then play
Straight
in
to a
our
game.
A grade. We won the championship 7 years in a row. He's knocking down. He's having 40 and we're just
course you
running
did.
around the edges. We're just running around the edges. Play was fantastic. So I played a little bit of A grade. I could knock down a 3 every now and again.
Well, you're going to ruin the question. Who did you used to play like? Like, name a player that you kind of played like. Maybe from this
Very
team.
slow. I'll have to go to an opposition team. Nuggety. No,
Yeah.
if I said I like I'd say Darren Lucas.
Oh,
Because I loved it physical. I
Yeah.
loved to get in the opposition's face.
a little bit of this,
A little bit of chippity chap.
a little bit of chat.
And so Luke's still doing that. He's, going on TV shows and he's still living the dream. But yeah, I was not highly skilled, but I would try and get under the skin as I do announcing.
still
It sort
doing,
of
yeah.
drifted in. Yes.
Nice. Okay. During a game, announcing, have you ever been like in the zone? You know what I mean? Like, so when you play, there's a few games where you could be in the zone. Like, you have an incredible game. After the game, you're like, I can remember, it's all a blur what happened out there. Have you ever been so into it, or do you get into that point where you're so into it, you're not thinking about what you're saying, you're just going, you're with the action, you're a part of the game?
I think it when it's coming down to the end of a game and we're slightly off the mark, and I do something to bring the crowd into the game. If I say or do something and I see the crowd react, I'm like, wow, and I've got to keep rolling with that.
Yeah.
And then if the team react, they hit a basket and the crowd are up out of their seat and it just happens naturally, I'm like, this is off the charts, mate.
Yeah.
And that I can't think of an actual game.
Yeah.
But that energy right there, that if I do something that brings the crowd up, then brings the team up, that's I'm thinking, this is. But at the end of most games, because I'm pushing 60 in August, but feel free to.
You don't look it. I would have
Thanks,
said
mate, I appreciate it.
45.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
It's getting hard. It's at the end of a game, I'm
Tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you're on your feet.
I've done a little bit of work,
You
and
don't
I
have to tell us.
I'm starting to stress.
Yeah.
Have you got a
Things aren't
protege?
work.
Have you got someone in training that you're going to hand the mic
there's
over
always
to?
someone
like a
there. There's
baton?
people that are always tapping on Bordy's door all the time, mate. But just leave them there for a few more years. They'll be
Makes
right.
me nervous.
Well, these players got it easy. They're in and out. They get
mate,
rest.
yeah.
We're up on our feet.
They get
the
all their
entire game.
recovery stuff. They get massages. Where's my guy at the side? Where's my massage table? Hey, can I call on that for finals? Just have a table there.
Hey,
Jump on.
You know the ops guy.
That's it.
All right. Oftentimes, if you're out in a social situation, I mean, this doesn't happen very much anymore, but are you guys Seinfeld fans? There's that episode where George, they make fun of him at work, and he he's on his way home and he's like, yeah, I should have said that. Like he had the perfect comeback on the way home. Perfect comeback.
Nearly every game.
Yeah. So after the game on the way home, where you're like, because there's situations where you got to react, or maybe, I don't know, a coach has said something or the ref has done something like, oh, you think of the perfect thing to say on the way home that, did that happen?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Regularly, that I'll think, why didn't you come back with that? That would have been so good. And I'm a massive Seinfeld fan, so I'm all over that.
So the jerk store, the jerk store called, and they're running out of you. That's what you wanted to say. Wasn't even a good comeback, but yeah, exactly.
What about in the opposite direction? Have you ever been lying awake at 3 a.m. staring at the roof being like, hey, I can't believe I said that?
Oh, yeah, probably when he gets called into the office. Boydie gives him a call. He's like,
I got ejected again.
There are. I haven't been ejected from a game. I've been,
Didn't the old NBL...
Not ejected from the game. Right. I got suspended. But
hey, if you're not towing the line, you're not doing your job, right? You got to toe the line.
Got to toe the
Every
line.
now and then you're going to fall over it.
KPIs.
There's been times where I have said some things, but I've always owned them and gone to the relevant people and tried to put it right with whether it be the person that I was talking to or about, or the incident itself. I've always owned up to it, and it's a tough gig, man. Like I got to make a decision without really thinking, like you said.
Exactly.
I got to say, and nothing tougher than the last couple of years that it's been tough, and it sort of threw me out there from what I said a couple of years ago with an incident that most people will be familiar with. So I got to really almost think now before I talk, which is I've never had to do that for the last 30 years. So it's tough at times, but if I say something or do something, I'll own it and put my hand up, and whatever happens, happens.
Great. Good question.
That was a good question.
Sorry. Fast 5.5.
Both questions there were good. All right. Okay. If you could say whatever you wanted, so nothing's off limits.
Oh boy,
nothing's off limits. You don't have to answer to anyone.
Which
You're
one's
just
the
going
censor
off.
button on there?
We don't need an example, but how different would it be to what you already do now? Would you be? Do you wish you could just go a lot further, or you're already kind of there anyways?
No, not really. I think I respect the game enough that my theory was that I'm saying it off the mic. It's almost like I'm a spectator in the stands, which is probably not 100% right. I got told many times by the NBL that you're not a spectator in the stands, but I'm off the mic. And so that got a bit clouded at times. But I've always said that if I win the lottery, especially the 100 million that happened a little while ago.
You didn't win it though.
I'd love to go to
over.
I'd love to go to Marvel Stadium, because the AFL, you don't get to talk much during the game. So you only talk it. I don't know why I'm talking low. Maybe I'm thinking that no one.
You're Marvel mode.
Marvel will hear me. But I'd love to lock the door thinking this is going to be my last game and just talk during the game. Oh, what a shocking kick. He's kicked it
Shank. Shank.
How the commentators talk to the radio, I'd like to talk to the stadium.
Fantastic.
And just say, oh, he shanked it. Come on, man. You're getting paid heaps. I'd just love to do that.
Yeah.
And hear the banging on the door, people banging on the door. Open the door.
Get him
open
out.
the door. Get him out of here. That'd be awesome.
I would definitely be in attendance. Can you give me the heads up? Just even this sneaky text on the side. Yeah. I'm sunsetting this job.
Get along to that game. That would be so. I'll take a ticket, but
maybe if you're last, it's your last game, but no one else does. Give that a try. It'll live forever on
it's
YouTube.
Like the goal umpire.
That'll have a life.
You remember the goal umpire last game? There was a goal umpire. I always say 3 or 4 years. It was probably 10 years ago. Yeah. That he went with his last ever goal celebration as a double thumbs up. So he's
scandalous.
Double thumbs up, and it got replayed around a little bit, and it was his last ever game, and people were like, let him go. It's his last ever game.
Good on him.
That's it. That's the end. Play the outro music. Great job, Rattler. I know we could do more. We could go on forever.
You don't want to hit him with the famous question of all time?
Well, okay. I always ask this, but I've gotten some pushback.
How do you remember your lines? Who does that?
No. This one's a general one, more a selfish one. What was, and this, you're a great age for this. Older, middle-aged men. What was your first CD? Do you remember?
My first ever. Well, hang on.
CD.
Compact disc.
Not record.
Well, yeah. See, we can even go record for you. But do you have any record? Do you remember your first record? Like that you bought with your own money?
I think it was Grease. Soundtrack.
You bought Grease soundtrack with your own money?
I went and saw the movie like 5 times. I could probably sing every song verbatim Loved it. Funny story about CDs and music. We got time? We're still rolling?
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Lockie can cut all
If the listeners are still here, they've made the decision to come
I've
in.
been doing it so long. When I started, we had cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah.
And so we would record a 30-second grab of music, but then have to have a 3-second blank in between. So the guy doing it would push the fast forward button, hear that, blah, 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 and then the music would stop, and he'd know that's the next track. We then progressed on to CDs. We found a guy.
Who did?
We found a guy.
This is courtside announcing.
Kevin.
Oh,
putting the show on.
we're
Yeah.
still. Oh.
Yeah, so this is when I used to control the music and the announcing.
Yes.
Kevin Durant was a guitar player who'd come out and from the States, and he said, I've got a CD burner, I can help you. He recorded tracks onto a CD so we could just go track number one. It was like, it was heaven. It was unbelievable. And then the Sydney Olympics happened, and they had the instant replay machines where we could hit the button automatically and the sound would happen. Now kids rock up and do a DJ set, an hour and a half DJ set with a USB.
Yeah, on the
like
phone.
it's like what? So I probably still got, I had 1,000 CDs because I was
because you had to use them for.
I was
for
a
work?
wedding DJ back in karaoke.
And you had to have
karaoke
all
business.
the music with you.
Yeah,
So you had to carry around thousands of CDs.
thousands of
put them on.
CDs, and I knew tracks. I'm going to grab that track and mix with that track.
See, that's skill. Now,
so
just picking
now.
songs on Spotify.
I'd find
now
it
it's
hard, though.
algorithms.
Type in a playlist and that's it.
Well, I'd find it hard to look at all the tracks on a list where I could look at a CD and know that CD is that artist or that soundtrack, and I knew that one was on there and I knew that one went.
Yeah, we sound old
Yeah.
though. I mean, I'm a physical media guy. Tommy V, you got it actually first time on here. What's your first CD? Do you have a first CD?
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. I do. I grew up in a household which didn't play a lot of music, but my mum was a big Deep Purple fan.
Oh, no.
So I got Machine Head as my first album.
Wow.
What was yours, Ed? You didn't mention yours.
I've mentioned mine on here plenty of times.
have you?
Big Pun, you know Big Pun, the rapper?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. That was my first ever CD. And I actually, the other day, Ben found it on vinyl for me.
Can you give us one?
I could actually.
Just give us a couple lines.
No, I won't do that.
Just a duet. You do Grease, I'll do Deep Purple,
Yeah,
and you do
Big Punisher. Just look them up.
All right, well, that's probably a good place to call it. Hey? Well, there we go. Another episode of The Extra Pass done and dusted. But I must say, can't wait to see you in action on Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. John Cain Arena. Still a couple of tickets hanging around. So jump onto Ticketek, those fans at home who are yet to purchase. Otherwise, you can tune in via ESPN to watch the teams do battle.
Going to be huge.
Going to be absolutely massive.
Yeah,
so
can't wait.
Thanks again for all that you do for Melbourne United and for the sport itself. And thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Rattler.
Been great.